Trump administration's shift away from offshore wind energy. The Trump administration's recent actions reflect a significant pivot away from renewable energy initiatives, particularly offshore wind projects. This shift is illustrated by a substantial financial agreement with the French company TotalEnergies, which has agreed to relinquish its offshore wind leases in the U.S. in exchange for a $1 billion payment. Financial agreement with TotalEnergies. Refund for leases. The Trump administration will pay TotalEnergies $1 billion to cancel its offshore wind leases in North Carolina and New York. This financial arrangement is essentially a refund for the company's investments in these projects. Investment in fossil fuels. TotalEnergies plans to redirect the refunded lease fees toward fossil fuel projects, including the construction of a liquefied natural gas plant in Texas. This decision aligns with the administration's broader strategy to bolster fossil fuel production. Policy context and reactions. Opposition to offshore wind. The Trump administration has actively sought to halt offshore wind construction, citing various concerns. However, federal judges have intervened, overturning these orders and allowing projects to resume. Environmental groups' response. Environmental organizations have criticized the deal with TotalEnergies, viewing it as a tactic to obstruct the development of renewable energy projects under the guise of financial reimbursement. Statements from key figures. TotalEnergies' position, CEO Patrick Pouyanné stated that the company has chosen to renounce offshore wind development in the U.S., arguing that such projects are not in the country's best interest. This stance suggests a strategic pivot towards more traditional energy sources. Interior Secretary's support. Doug Burgum, the Secretary of the Interior, expressed support for TotalEnergies' commitment to fossil fuel projects, framing them as essential for providing reliable and affordable energy to American families. Contrasting energy policies. Biden administration's focus. In contrast to the Trump administration, the Biden administration has prioritized the expansion of offshore wind energy as a solution to climate change. This divergence highlights the ongoing debate over energy policy and the U.S. global trends in offshore wind. While the U.S. is experiencing a shift away from offshore wind, the global market is expanding, with China leading in new installations. This suggests a potential gap between U.S. policy and international trends in renewable energy. Legal challenges and resumptions. Halted projects. The Trump administration's decision to stop construction on 5 major East Coast offshore wind projects was met with legal challenges from developers in states. Federal judges ruled that the government failed to demonstrate an immediate risk that warranted halting the projects. Resumption of construction. Following these legal battles, all 5 projects were allowed to continue, indicating the resilience of the offshore wind sector despite federal opposition. Conclusion. In summary, the Trump administration's financial agreement with TotalEnergies marks a decisive move away from offshore wind energy, favoring fossil fuel development instead. This shift has sparked significant criticism from environmental groups and highlights the contrasting energy policies of the Trump and Biden administrations. As global trends continue to favor renewable energy, the U.S. faces critical decisions regarding its energy future.